Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to teach you how to make an invitation in Mandarin Chinese. And as we all know, making invitation is always a very big thing in any language or culture. And linguists studying English have discovered this fact that whenever people make a request in English, they do not actually just throw this request directly. They will do something, as we call it, pre-invitation. So, for example, if I want to ask you out for a movie tonight, I won't just ask you, do you want to go for a movie now? Because it's kind of risky, because I don't know whether you're going to say yes or no. It's like 50-50%. But how can I lower the percentage that I might get, that I'm going to get rejected or not? Then I could make a pre-invitation. So I would probably ask you, what are you doing right now, or what are you up to right now? If I got a positive answer, like nothing much, then I would more likely to go ahead and ask you this real thing that I'm intending to ask, which is, do you want to go out? Do you want to go out for a movie with me? I guess the reason why people do this is because we don't want to throw ourselves out there and expose our personal emotions, because making an invitation can be embarrassing if you get rejected. So by doing this praising, you're actually increasing the likelihood that you're going to be accepted. So now today we're going to learn something in Mandarin, like how people lay the groundwork. So here, now look at this board. You see this sentence pattern, which is 你 plus the time period that you intend this invitation to take place, plus 有空吗? Which literally means, are you free during this time period? So, for example, if we say 你现在有空吗? Which means, are you free now? Or 你今晚有空吗? Are you free tonight? Or 你等会儿有空吗? Are you free later? So if this person says, yeah, nothing much, then you can just go ahead and invite him or her to do whatever you want to do. However, one tricky thing is here, this phrase is always followed by some sort of social actions. It can be an invitation, but it can also be a favor. Like someone's asking you for a favor. But how can you tell? Because those are two completely different things. Based on my personal experience, then if the time period is a timely one, suppose it's now or later, it happens very fast, then it's more likely request, or it's more likely this person is going to ask you for a favor instead of inviting you to do something. So, for example, whenever my mom asks me, like, are you free now? Or are you free later? 你现在有空吗? 你等会儿有空吗? It's either she's asking me to buy her something or asking me to clean up my room, which I don't really feel like doing so. So I would simply block her request by saying 没空. Which means I'm damn busy right now. Okay, but if it's not a timely one, suppose it's like 3 days after or next month, then I think it's more likely to be an invitation, because the reason behind this, I guess, is because people know that if they make requests or if they ask you for a favor, the likelihood that they're being rejected is higher than an invitation. So they won't give you any time to think it through or to circumvent this request or favor, and they want you to say yes right at this moment. But as for an invitation, it's more attractive and people consider it more likely to be accepted. So they're not so in a hurry, and they will give you time to think it through and to prepare for it. Well, another way to do this is by adopting the Chinese version of what are you doing now? So the pattern here is you, 你 plus time period plus 在干嘛 or 你 time period 要干嘛。在 here indicates the present tense, which is literally what are you doing right now. But 要 is more like a future tense, so it indicates some like saying that in the future. Now let's take a look at a few examples. Suppose you're saying 你现在在干嘛 which means what are you doing now. 你等会儿要干嘛 which means what are you gonna do, what are you doing later. Or 你后天要干嘛 what are you doing the day after tomorrow. And one tricky thing here is intonation actually matters a little bit here, because you don't want to end up sounding like you're literally asking what the person is doing right now, and or like you seem confused by what this person is doing and you're trying to confront him or her. So the thing here is to be as casual as possible and not put emphasis on any word in this sentence. So you won't end up sounding like you're asking this person what he or she is doing rather than like lay the groundwork. Well, another way to do this is to address the other person's desire, interest, or need, and etc. And plus, 了吗? 了 here is like an indicator of like state, continuing state. It's like already happened, but it doesn't matter. It's just context dependent. So here the pattern is 你 plus the person's desire, interest, need, and plus 了吗? So we all know eating is a very big thing in China, and you probably ask people or get asked by your Chinese friends for food hunting very often. So if you want to invite someone to go eat with you, then you can ask 你饿了吗? Which means are you hungry? Or you can say 你喜欢 KFC 吗? Which means do you like KFC? I know this is a bad example. I mean, who likes KFC, but it doesn't matter. And also you can say 你想 plus action. So here is 你想吃 KFC 吗? Do you feel like having some KFC? So by using those patterns, you're basically attending to the other person's interest, desire, and need. Well, if you get a positive answer, then you can go ahead and use this pattern here. So this is the invitation itself. So you can say 不如 plus action. So here is 不如去吃 KFC 吧. So basically you're saying, how about go get some KFC? And the subject of this sentence is optional because you can basically put 我们 at the very beginning of the sentence. 我们不如去吃 KFC, or insert 我们 after 不如我们去吃 KFC. And this can be generalized to many other occasions. For example, do you like sports? 你喜欢运动吗? 不如我们去 plus action. Suppose 你喜欢电影吗? Do you like films? 不如我们去看电影吧? How about go watch a movie together? Last but not least, you can make an invitation, make a pre-invitation by address your own desire or your own interest. This is even more convenient because whenever you say this, people are more likely to offer themselves voluntarily, which would actually save you work. So the thing works like this. First of all, you could say 我最近想 plus action. What does this mean? I recently feel like doing something. So for example, let's go back to for example, 我最近想唱 K, which means I feel like going to karaoke recently. Or if we go back to the KFC example, you could say 我最近想吃 KFC, which means I feel like getting some KFC recently. And if the person you intend to invite does not offer him or herself voluntarily, then you could also just go ahead and use the previous pattern. How about or why not by saying 不如我们去唱 K， 不如我们去吃 KFC, which means why not go sing in the karaoke, or why not go have some KFC then. However, this thing, which is more likely to get volunteers, is by saying 我最近发现了 something plus something, usually something good, something fun, or something interesting. So this means I recently discovered something good or something fun. For example, you could say 我最近发现了一家新餐馆, which means I recently discovered a new restaurant. And the other person is very likely to offer him or herself by saying, then why don't we try it out? 那我们去试一试. Then you successfully reverse the situation by being the person who's actually getting this invitation here. Isn't it very convenient? So yeah, I guess that's all for today. Don't forget to check out our website and please recommend this website to other Mandarin learners if you find it useful or funny. See you next time.